two murders 13 years apart. One case has a killer behind bars, while the other remains unsolved today. This is Hold My Sweet Tea.
Hello, Governor. This is Holly.
And I'm Pearl. He told me not to talk about him.
Uh-oh, and I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we gonna talk about him anyway.
This is the Wicca remix because we're recording this episode over.
Yeah, I was unhappy with it, so we are take two. But my brother,
who shall remain nameless,
Voldemort.
Voldemort. Oh, that's a good name for him.
So my brother Voldemort doesn't want us to talk about him on the podcast because he said, I don't want to be famous.
Yes, he does. Deep down inside, his Capricornness just wants to be famous.
I literally told him over the phone when he was telling me that. He's like, I don't want to be famous. I said, yeah, you're not going to be famous. I didn't even say your name.
Right.
I said, nobody knows who you are. And he's in the truck with one of his coworkers. And that dude comes out and he goes, I know exactly who it was the minute you said chicken houses. So he's like, I knew it was Chicken Voldemort.
Chicken Voldemort. So here we are to talk about you.
I do appreciate him, though, because he has never listened to a single podcast in his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started doing this, he started listening to ours, and he will literally call me and be like, is it midnight yet?
Oh, he's ready.
He's ready. And he's like, your podcast has made me want to listen to other podcasts.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was nice of him. And he's always there to like give good feedback if something sounds a little weird or anything else. So he'll be like, hey, fix that. Yep. But then he also likes to call and like completely rag us out.
Yeah. He likes to pick on me too. A lot.
A lot. Yeah. He's always like, tell Holly she doesn't have fans.
I at least have one or two.
I said that's not true because we're each other's fan.
That's right.
It's like, so, I'm a fan of Holly. Holly's a fan of me. So, that's all we need. But obviously he's a fan.
That's right. We have a fan.
Woo-hoo. We have a fan. My brother is a fan.
He's also a little bit of a pain in the behind. But
well, that's natural. He's a brother. So.
He's going to be calling about that.
Yep, we'll get a phone call for this one, too.
Right.
When it releases, he'll be like, what'd I tell you?
That's hilarious.
And then it'll be, why'd you call me Voldemort? I was like, well, do you want me to use your real name? What? Make up my mind here. You want to be famous or not?
Right.
I mean, famous to the what? 120 people now, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, that listen. And we appreciate all of you 120. We really, really do.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like a lot to me when I started out saying that we were only going to have 3 listeners.
Right. So we've grown. We've grown.
Yeah.
And it's almost, getting close to our month anniversary, so.
Yeah, almost. We're right there. It'll be this coming Friday, March.
Which this episode will be released after that, but
But that's the name of the game. We try to stay ahead of everything, so.
Yep.
This is how we make sure that when there's a holiday and we're pretending like we're hanging out with family, we're really just sleeping.
Yes.
Taking naps.
Especially with daylight savings time. Oh my God. Yesterday was the first Monday after daylight savings time. I was not having it.
Yeah, it was a gross day.
It was, I was brain fogged, irritated, just sleepy all day.
Yeah. It was big time malfunction day.
Yep. And like you said this morning, you have to go to Vegas, and that's going to mess with all of that too, because then you're going to be 2 hours behind
Yeah.
in Vegas. So
Yeah, I
that's
time
crazy
travel
stuff.
the end of next week.
Yep.
So hopefully I can feel a little bit more normal before we get there, because
Yeah.
it'll really do a doozy.
You're going to be jet lagged
Yeah.
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Look, that 2 hours is a lot.
That's right. That's 2 hours of sleep that you could,
I mean, I'm going backwards 2 hours, but it's just the coming back. Like, it's just jostling, because then my day is like 2 hours longer.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to go to bed at 7, which would actually be 9 if I were at home.
Right. Then you start thinking about it and you're like, well, if I get this many hours, but I'm actually getting this many hours. Yeah, it becomes that's me every night.
Yeah.
I have to calculate.
And I can tell when I'm going to have a really tired, gross day, because I don't wake up before my alarm clock goes off. So today was one of those days.
Yeah. And
I slept right to the dinging.
If any of you had any experiences with daylight savings this past one, let us know. Email us or send us a message, or like comment on this new episode and let us know, because we would like to hear your stories.
Yeah, we'll talk about how much everyone else loved daylight savings then.
I was like, just leave it right here. Just leave it. Don't change it again. Just leave it.
Right. Stop it. You're killing me.
So what you got for us today?
Today we're going to talk about the murders, with an S, of Luther Gerald Parks, who we are going to call Jerry.
Okay.
And Dr. David Millstein.
You said that so sinister. Millstein.
Wait, the second time I said it, I kind of felt like Jim Carrey and the Grinch.
You like did sound like that.
I twisted my chin a little weird. All right. So from a KATV Channel 7 news broadcast on September 26, 1993, they reported that shortly before 7 on a Sunday night, police found the bullet-riddled body of a middle-aged Roland man lying outside of his car at the intersection of what I can only guess is pronounced Chenal Parkway and Highway 10 in West Little Rock.
Oh, wow.
Arkansas again. Little Rock is
Arkansas for the proper people. Yes.
It is active.
Yeah. I just did, we just released my Arkansas one.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Your Arkansas one. Denise Hickman, Jerry's daughter, recalls getting a phone call from her father's widow. She first stated that Denise's father had been hurt. And then when Denise asked what had happened to her dad, she then changed it to, oh, he's dead.
Wow. Just so bluntly, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. He's actually dead. Sorry. My mistake. He's not just hurt. He's DED.
Right.
I know I didn't spell that right. I did that on purpose, y'all. Inside joke.
Just go with it.
Dead. So, yeah, for me, I'm sitting here going, how do you call someone and say they're hurt? I guess, does that show that you're nervous about having to tell them?
Maybe, but...
Or is it suspicious?
Depends on how this story goes, so
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. It's reported that someone in a white Chevy pulled up to Jerry Parks' vehicle and opened fire. There were approximately 10 shots fired based on the evidence found at the scene and explained by Doc Holliday in 1993. Doc Holliday is a spokesperson for the Little Rock PD, not a dentist in Tombstone.
Okay. I was like, are we going back in time here? What are we doing?
Yeah. I do not believe that there is anyone named Wyatt Earp at the Little Rock PD.
Maybe, but you never know.
Maybe that's their first and middle name and they got some different last name. I don't know. But yeah, Doc Holliday spelled with 2 L's.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that makes any difference, but
it just means he's extra festive.
Right. holiday.
Halloween.
Yeah, that's the one you picked, Doc. So Jerry Parks was a private investigator and he owned his own security company. His daughter stated to News 7, quote, "I don't know what to believe. It was years later before I started having my own thought of who did it and why it was done." So here I want to note that he was actually shot through the car door, obviously. He had 3 bullet wounds to his person.
Oh, wow.
So the rest of it was just
absorbed somewhere or deflected. Yeah.
I watched an episode covering this on Investigation Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
In that show, they talked about how he had a firearm in his car, in the door of his car. I mean, he's a private investigator owns his own security company. He obviously carries. So he has this gun in his door, but there's no evidence that he ever even tried to reach for it. So thoughts of some of these investigators is that he must have known who was shooting at him and didn't feel threatened by this person initially and was surprised.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That was somebody that he recognized or knew.
Right. And so I think that's just one of the clues to who you should be suspecting and who you shouldn't.
Right.
There's a plethora of search results that will lead you to some theories that Jerry's death has something to do with his security company and providing guards in 1992 for the Clinton Gore campaign headquarters in Little Rock.
So he did actual security detail, not like a security, home security company.
Right.
That's
he's PI and
okay,
protection security.
Got it.
Not ADT.
Right. He didn't own an ADT thing.
No.
So he actually bodyguard security type stuff. Okay.
Personal security stuff. Obviously, I mean, they were security for the building itself and not necessarily Clinton and Gore. It was just for
because he has his own Secret Service and everything. So they were securing the building.
So his daughter does not believe any of these theories that are popping out, conspiracy-wise, saying, that's why, somebody from the Clinton Gore campaign was taking him out because he knew something.
Right. Somebody always comes up with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of pulling that out of the air, I guess, because the stuff that I've read there's nothing substantial there that would explain why somebody would send someone after him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that is talking about this in the show, he actually is Jerry Parks' friend, but also worked with him doing this security detail.
Okay.
He's very much alive. Nobody shot him. Did he not know?
So then that rules that out pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to take out one, you're going to take out them all, all the people that actually participated in that detail. But his daughter's I don't even know who made this up. Where'd this spring up from? Nobody really knows the source of that.
Correct.
While it's easy to look past the conspiracy theories, it is difficult to understand the lack of information. In this case, as Hickman explained to Channel 7 that she struggles getting information from the police, she was quoted as saying, "They do not return my calls. They don't return emails. I don't know what's going on with the case, and I think as his daughter, I have a right to know what's going on." Obviously, it's still in investigation stage. It is a cold case because they haven't really had many new leads, but it is still an open investigation. So obviously they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell anyone.
Yes.
I guess if they had some new development that they felt was important to inform her on, they would, but I know it's also got to be frustrating on the other side of that to feel like if you're not telling me anything, then nothing's being done.
Exactly. That's how I would feel. I need to know some information, even if it's just a little small piece of information.
Yeah, the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Something that you feel like is insignificant when it comes to trying to figure out who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So 13 years after the death of Jerry Parks, his widow's second husband, David Millstein, is murdered.
Oh.
Yeah, he's actually found stabbed to death in his Baxter County home.
Huh.
Yep.
So
she gets remarried.
yeah, so one husband gets shot,
The other one
is
gets stabbed. Yeah.
This is giving Debbie and Fester from the Addams Family vibes here.
Right. Black Widow, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like pretty sus that you have two murdered husbands and like in the span of 13 years.
Yeah.
So in June of 2006, asleep in his bed over the Father's Day weekend, Dr. Millstein, a urologist, was stabbed to death. Fast forward 7 years. Like literally these cases are dragging out forever. But fast forward 7 years, his stepson, Gary Wayne Parks,
Mm-hmm.
who is the son of Jerry, the last husband that died,
Okay.
would be convicted of capital murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison with a plea deal that suspended 10 of those years for killing the doctor.
Oh.
He was eligible for parole in the summer of 2024 and was granted release by the parole board on July 29th, 2024. So he just got out this middle of last year for stabbing his stepdad. His deal was contingent on obviously his guilty plea to this, as well as giving information for someone who was also involved.
So a co-conspirator, like, give us the information, we'll lessen your sentence type thing?
Correct.
Okay.
However, he never did.
Oh. So he's protecting someone.
Absolutely. And I just think it's a little janky that he still gets to get out 10 years early.
Yeah, but without giving up the information
And
of
he
the
never
other person.
told. Yeah. Never held up his end of the deal, but he still got his. They still let him get out.
So what kind of relationship did him and his mother have? Like, was it some kind of...
So he's very much a mama's boy.
Aha.
There's evidence in both situations that his father and his stepfather were both having some issues with Gary during the times that these things happened.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, Lois Jane, which is the mother, was living with her son when the doctor was murdered.
Huh. So they probably split up because of him or some issue he was having with him, and
right, had some argument, and I'm siding with my son.
Right,
naturally. I feel like that's a mom thing.
Yeah, it's a mom thing, but then there's certain situations where you need to correct
your kid
and be like, hey, no, we're taking it a little too far. But
right
now there's two men dead, and they both had issues, and one of them was his actual father.
His actual father. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Huh.
So not a lot in the case of the doctor was released, much the same as what's going on with Jerry Parks. However, during the trial, information came out disclosing that the doctor was stabbed 6 times in the chest while he was laying in the bed. He was then transitioned to the floor where he was stabbed an additional 36 times in the back and then had his throat slit.
That sounds like a rage murder.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Definitely
so
one of
more
those.
Than likely the 6 times, and then he got a chance to maybe fight and roll off the bed.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know that transitions is a great word.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because it's like, I don't even know that he got to struggle back any more than maybe it was just him in that rage getting thrown off the bed.
Or trying to get up and then bam on his face or something, and then whoever was stabbing him, Gary,
Apparently. I mean, he's the
Yeah.
one convicted of it.
Right.
So,
And then he started, stab him in the back out of pure rage.
yeah, and just continued to let it out. He was
Wow.
unleashing all his fury, it seems.
Yikes.
So Kevin Barnes, a detective at the time of the murder, has since retired, but he spent a quarter of his 30 years working on this case. There was an attempt to burn the house down, but that was also unsuccessful. And Barnes believes that the murder of the doctor was money motivated.
Oh, yeah, more than likely, because, I mean, they would get money and then be able to move on with their life, and he's dead.
Right? And so he had a life insurance policy, a pretty large one, that was initially going to be all his wife's.
Yeah.
If he passed. But prior to this happening, he actually went and changed his beneficiaries. So she only got a portion, and then his other children got the remaining.
I bet she was mad.
Yeah. And Barnes also states that investigators believe that it was Lois Jane, who lived, like I said, with her son Gary at the time, that convinced her son to murder the doctor.
So his own father, oh no, the other one. Yeah.
So this is his stepdad.
Yeah,
but
his
his
stepdad.
own, they're saying his mom, Lois Jane, who was married to both of these men, convinced her son Gary to murder the doctor. His stepdad.
I could see that happening, yeah. Especially the whole mama's boy thing where he'll do anything that mother says, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Mommy dearest.
Yeah. Wire coat hangers.
Yeah. No more wire hangers. My thing is obviously mommy meant more to him than he meant to her. Because how could you do that to
right.
a
How?
kid?
Yeah.
It's bad enough you're trying to kill off your husbands, but to convince your own child to do it.
To do it for you. So you're free and clear, and
you're
they would
playing
never
on his
believe.
love for you. Literally.
Ooh, yeah.
Using his own affection for his mom against him, basically.
That's some mental disorder right there.
Weaponizing love.
Exactly.
I'm just no. That's a shitty mom.
Very much so.
No. Oh my God. If that's what happened.
If that's what but I'm pretty sure that
it just, I mean, it's
very coincidental.
Right. Too much coincidence at that point. So I feel like it's suspected that there's a good possibility that maybe Gary and Lois had something to do with Jerry's death. Which, again, now you're a parent weaponizing your child against his other parent.
Yes.
If that's what happened. Yeah. If Gary also killed his own dad.
And
at the behest of his mom.
Which would make sense of the car pulling up and he's like, hey, that's my son. Pow, 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 pow. And he didn't even have time to grab his gun.
No thought. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that would be definitely someone on the radar for that. So while we still don't know, there's hope. I mean, there was some new information, I think, uncovered during the investigation discovery episode. It's called My Murder Story.
Yeah.
So during their episode, there was some stuff that his daughter and his PI friend had kind of come across, and so they were calling to share that info at the end of the episode. So hopefully this will be another one where I've Google alerted.
You and your Google alerts.
And hopefully we'll have something from that soon.
That would be cool.
I love Google alerting the ones that have been more recently updated, because those I feel like are ones we'll be able to come back to. The ones that have been a while, it's unfortunate, but I'm not as hopeful
Yes.
to get an alert from those, but, this will be one, and the Chandra May
Yes, for
case.
sure.
So hopefully one of the two. But Lois has never been charged, but has always been a suspect to be involved in both of these murders, and is also been referred to as a Black Widow.
Black Widow, baby.
But Lois Jane passed away on May 11th, 2018, in the comfort of her own home at the age of 65. So at this point, Gary friend, if your mama did.
Yeah, just come out with it, because now...
if your mama convinced you to do those bad things to the doctor, the one you've already been convicted for, nothing else can come of that.
Right.
Go ahead and share that information like you said you were gonna.
Exactly.
Or if it was somebody else, just go on.
Just go ahead and do it. Yeah.
At this point,
it always comes back to the mommy issues.
I don't know.
Just seems that way. We talk about that a lot, because it always...
abusive mom or whatever.
Neglectful mom, or...
She seemed like totally doting mom who then would have just used that to her advantage.
She was the helicopter mom who...
if you love me...
If you love mother, you will do this for me.
Right. Ew.
Yeah, mommy dearest.
And 100%. I'm over here just like, don't lie to me.
Right.
Take care of yourself. Be careful. Don't be a hoe. That's my advice to my children. Don't be a hoe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe in all aspects.
Right. I don't want to be a grandmother.
Right. I'm too young to be a grandmother. No, but literally, I'm glad I had my kids young. But because I'm not saying like teenage young, but like early 20s young, because it's been nice to feel like I could still do something.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, well, then why are you worried about being a young grandmother? Because then you could still at least play with the baby. No. I want to be like, oh, this baby makes my arm hurt. Here, take your baby.
Take your baby back.
I don't want to go play. Grandma's too old for the floor. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Hopefully you'll get some updates on that one soon enough, and we can let you know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Yep. Eyes open and ears peeled, right?
Yeah, that's it.
How do you peel your ears?
Oh, girl, that's the first thing that sunburns on me, so easy enough.
You're like, ew, flaky skin.
I just spend 30 minutes in the sun, and there you have it. My ears are peeling.
You look like a Boston lobster. No, that was British. Yeah, I need your dad here to insert that, since he's a Bostonian.
Yeah, so our first guest, my dad, just to do his accent.
Right. Where's my khakis? Your khakis?
You sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get to the chopper. Oh, gosh. This is going to be a fun day.
Right. We'll be back.
Just like the Terminator.
Which I feel like my monogramming machine that I have back there with all the metal should have been named something Terminator.
Right. We should have. Yep.
I messed that one up.
Yep.
So bad. It's Batman instead. Well,
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we hope you enjoyed this episode.
I did.
And we appreciate you joining us on Hold My Sweet Tea, and hope you continue to join us. All sources used to create this episode can be found in the show notes. Our theme music was created by Patty Salzetta. If you enjoyed this episode, like truly enjoyed it, please subscribe and leave us a review. You can follow us on all the social medias. All of them. Well, not X.
Yeah, we don't like it. But anyway.
No, we're not on X or Twitter. Whatever. But we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And also, you can visit our website, So if you've never listened to a podcast, much like my brother, and you're like,
You're like, where do I don't know where to listen to this. Yeah.
Go to holdmysweettea.com and there's a whole list on the side.
Yep.
There's so many places. If you have a case you would like to have covered, or a ghost story, or a cool piece of Southern folklore, please email us. Even if you just want to say, hey, what's up? At steeped@holdmysweettea.com.
Yes, so let us invade your ears and manipulate your soul. No. I'm so dark and weird. Anyway, just listen to us everywhere, like Pearl said. And
follow us everywhere.
Yes, and follow us everywhere. Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
And we hope that you guys stay safe out there. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping.
Bye.